Lord, you are here before I form a word. You move like light through a closed curtain, finding every fold, every crease, every corner that I pretend isn't there. You know me before I speak, before I choose, before I reach for a defense, and I feel the tremor inside, because to be fully seen is to lose the little shadows I hide in, yet you are still here. So I breathe slowly, and I let the curtain shift. Come in, Lord. Come in with the kind of light that doesn't accuse, but reveals. Come in with the kind of presence that doesn't shame, but steadies. Search me, O God. Search me down to the marrow and the motives, to the places I'm scared to touch with words. We confess the impulse to turn away. We admit how often we narrate our lives like we're the hero, how often we edit the parts that ache or accuse. We pretend we don't see what you already see. We polish the surface and hope no one asks what's underneath. It feels safer to keep the curtain drawn, but there is no safer place than your gaze. There is no safer place than the eyes that watched us being knit together, the hands that gathered us from dust and breathed us into being. You already know. Before the thought rises, before the picture forms in the mind, before the sentence is half-shaped on the tongue, you know it altogether. And though my chest tightens, though my heart rehearses excuses, though my stomach holds the weight of things unnamed, you stay. You do not flinch at the truth of me. So we come with our trembling. We come with our small eyes and our large ones. We come with the intentions that look generous but crave applause. We come with the careful words that hide the edges of our anger. We come with the rehearsed confessions that avoid the real confession. And in your presence, we say the simplest, hardest thing. You already know me completely. The part that judges, the part that justifies, the part that is tired of being good, the part that still aches to be chosen. You hold it all without dropping us. You hold it all without folding your arms in disappointment. You hold it like a physician touches a wound, knowing where it is tender, knowing how pressure can heal and not harm. Let your light pass through the curtain now, not the glare that startles, but the morning kind, the kind that warms the face and opens the eyes one slow blink at a time. Let it find the dust floating in the air of this room, the dust of old habits and old fears, the dust of words spoken in haste and thoughts swallowed in secret. Let your light show me what I've been afraid to see, and tell me in that clear, quiet voice, I am not here to expose you to scorn. I am here to set you free. Lord, I need that voice to be louder than the chorus in my head. I need it to be steady, like a hand at the small of the back guiding me forward, like a father's gaze that says, we can do this together. You know the story I tell about myself. You know the scenes I replay because they justify my coldness. You know the names I've given to my motives, duty, stewardship, wisdom, when what I wanted was control. You know the nights I called it discernment when it was fear. You know when I call it restraint, but it is pride. You know when I call it diligence, but it is hunger for validation. And still, you come closer. Still, your light moves through the swing of the curtain, and the room is not frightening. It's familiar, like a kitchen at dawn, like the first coffee after a long sleep, like a beloved voice saying my name. You know me, and somehow, knowing that, you know dislodges the dread. It loosens the jaw. It softens the shoulders. I've kept braced for impact. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it. That is not a threat. It is a shelter. It means I do not have to convince you. I do not have to dress up my apologies or explain my confusion. I do not have to arrange my regrets into a speech that will win your sympathy. I breathe. You hear the word before it exists. You hear the ache before it forms. You hear the apology before it lands. That is love. That is the kind of knowing that is safe enough to unspool the knots, to spill out the thoughts half formed, the motives half clean, the desires I don't trust yet. That is the kind of knowing that makes me brave. So, Lord, take my fear of being fully seen and meet it with the truth that you seeing me has never once led to rejection. Not once. You have never taken your eyes off me to preserve your own peace. You have never withheld yourself to make a point. You have never been surprised and stepped back. You have stepped closer. You have moved toward the mess. You have put your hands into the clay of me again and again, not to prove I am fragile, but to form me into what I am when I am loved, and I am loved. Even now, even with what I haven't yet confessed, even with what I have confessed 100 times and keep needing to confess again. Your knowing is not a courtroom, it is a sanctuary. Your knowing does not file accusations, it opens a door. Let relief wash in, like warm water over tired hands. Let the body receive what the soul knows. We are safe in your scrutiny. We are safe in the place where nothing is hidden. We are safe because your light is not a weapon, it is a medicine. We are safe because your voice does not mock, it mends. We are safe because your gaze is not a spotlight for shame, it is a sunrise for growth. So we open the curtain a little more. We lift our chin a little higher. We let you see the eyes. And the eyes see you back, and something unclenches. The breath goes deeper, the spine relaxes, and we whisper it aloud, so our bodies believe it. You already know me completely, and you do not turn away. If there is a corner I am keeping, tug on it gently until I yield it. If there is a sentence I am leaving unfinished because I fear its end, finish it with me and show me that your kindness can hold it. If there is a room in me where I have kept the lights off, flip the switch and stand with me in the doorway until the shadows are just shadows and not threats. Tonight, we choose the relief of being known over the exhaustion of pretending. We choose the mercy of your gaze over the loneliness of self-protection. We choose to be found by you again and again and again, because being found by you is the way home. And as we breathe this in, as the light settles on our faces and the fear loosens its grip, we begin to see that the next step is not to flee but to stay under your eyes, to stay where the truth is actually gentle, to stay where exposure is not humiliation but healing. We are ready for that, Lord. We are ready to let you look longer. We are ready to let you point softly and say, "There, let me help you there." And we will not run. Your love will hold us steady while you do. And as we let the curtain fall all the way open, you prepare us to face the mirror without flinching, to let the dust be seen, to invite your breath over the surface, because the fear of exposure has no power where perfect love abides, and your perfect love abides here. If this prayer is watering your spirit, and you want more moments like this, quiet, honest, steady, consider following and subscribing so we can keep praying together. Not for numbers, but for a practiced rhythm of peace. Let's keep meeting here, letting the light in, one gentle breath at a time. Lord, sometimes the light feels too close. It touches the mirror, and I see more than I want to see. I notice the smudge I pretended wasn't there, the dust that is gathered through years of trying to look clean. And I feel that ache because I've prayed for purity, but not for exposure. I've asked you to cleanse me, but I've hoped you would do it quietly, in the background, where no one would see the process. I confess that I fear the reflection more than the sin itself. The thought of being known in my weakness makes my throat tighten. The mirror stands there, covered with a film of dust, and I think maybe if I don't wipe it clean, I won't have to face what's underneath. Yet you don't come with a shout or with accusation, you come as breath. You come as the gentlest wind across that dusty surface. And what moves is not condemnation, it's compassion. You are not afraid of the truth about me. You are inviting me to stop being afraid of it too. Lord, this fear of exposure, it runs deep. It's older than this moment. It's the echo of every time I was misunderstood, every time honesty cost me belonging, every time confession was met with shame instead of grace. I carry those memories like layers of dust, and I have believed they would protect me, but they only blur my sight. So now, as your spirit breathes, I dare to let a small patch of the mirror show. I see the edges of my own eyes, tired, guarded, and I whisper, "Don't turn away, Lord." And you don't. You stay, steady and quiet. You let me look, and you let me learn that truth is not the enemy. You let me feel the courage rise, small but real, to keep wiping away what keeps me blind. For the first time, I realize that purity isn't a performance. It's a release. You are not trying to embarrass me. You are trying to free me from the need to pretend. Your truth, Lord, does not shame. It liberates. It says, you don't have to edit yourself before you come to me. It says, I can handle what you think I can't. And so, I exhale. The fear that once made me flinch begins to soften under the warmth of your patience. What I used to call judgment is actually light, doing what light does, revealing, not humiliating. Even the pain of seeing myself clearly becomes bearable when I remember that. Your eyes are kind. You are not a critic holding a scorecard. You are a father cleaning his child's face after a long day of dust and play. Let that truth sink deeper. Let it go beyond the mind and settle in the body. There is nothing to fear in being seen by love. Your gaze doesn't dissect, it restores. Your exposure doesn't wound, it awakens. When you breathe over the mirror, the reflection that emerges isn't grotesque, it's honest. It's human. It's me, still loved, still called, still belonging. The fear of exposure starts to lose its vocabulary because your mercy fills the silence where accusation used to live. Lord, I admit how much energy I've spent on image, how much effort I've poured into curating what others see, how even in prayer I can try to perform holiness instead of inhabit it. But when your spirit moves like wind across that old glass, all those performances scatter like dust. What's left is something raw but real, a heart still beating, a child still loved, a soul still capable of wonder. You have not rejected me in the places I've been most ashamed. You have leaned in closer. You have shown me that the place I feared would end our relationship is actually where it begins to deepen. Tonight, I choose to stop managing my image before you. I choose to stop negotiating how much light you can have. If you want to uncover what's been hidden, uncover it. If you want to name what I've ignored, name it. I will not run. I will stay and let you show me who I am without the disguise. Because every time you reveal, you also redeem. Every time you expose, you also embrace. That is who you are, the God whose truth is as tender as his mercy. So breathe again, Lord. Blow across the mirror until every corner gleams. Let me see myself as you see me, not as a failure to fix, but as a life you are refining. And when I start to shrink back, remind me that shame cannot survive where love has settled. Remind me that your spirit is not here to accuse, but to heal. And when my reflection begins to clear, Let me see not just my own face, but the shimmer of your presence standing behind me, unflinching, unashamed, unchanging. Because the truth is this: exposure in your presence is not destruction, it's resurrection. What was buried beneath layers of fear begins to breathe again. What was hidden in darkness begins to pulse with life. I thought exposure meant losing control, but now I see it means losing the chains. It means being light enough to live. So we stay here, Lord, in this quiet unveiling. We let the wind of your Spirit sweep through the corners of the heart. We let the dust rise and drift away in the sunbeam of your patience. We let ourselves be fully seen, fully known, fully loved. We let the truth set us free, not just from guilt, but from the exhausting pretense of needing to look perfect. You are the God who can handle my truth. You are the friend who never looks away. You are the mirror that tells me the truth and still calls me beautiful. You are the one who breathes over the dust and turns it into clarity. So I say it out loud again, just to let it echo in the soul. I am not afraid to be seen anymore. Not here. Not by you. And as I stand before that clean mirror, breathing easier, I sense you preparing me for the next layer, not the surface deeds, but the roots beneath them. Because when the fear of exposure fades, the heart becomes ready to face what lies beneath the good intentions. And as we breathe in this new courage, you prepare us for what's ahead, for the place where motives hide beneath good deeds. Lord, now that the light has found its way through the dust and the fear has begun to fade, I feel you drawing closer to the soil beneath the surface. The mirror shows the outside, but you are reaching deeper to the roots that feed what grows. I hear you whisper, "Let me go there." And part of me hesitates, because I know what you mean. Beneath the branches of what looks like obedience and goodness, there are roots twisted with pride, with need, with motives I barely recognize as mine. You are not calling me out to humiliate me. You are inviting me to see what has been hidden in plain sight. You want to show me where my deeds have been clean, but my desires have not yet learned to rest. Lord, you know how easily my zeal can wear the mask of purity. You know how often I do the right thing because I crave to be seen as right. You know how my acts of service can hide the hunger for approval, how even my worship can become performance if I'm not careful. And yet, you do not recoil from the mixed soil of my heart. You kneel beside it like a gardener, touching the ground, loosening what's tangled, saying, "This can still grow." It humbles me, Lord, to realize how subtly pride can disguise itself as passion. I've wanted to be righteous, but sometimes more than I've wanted to be real. I've wanted to be admired for endurance rather than known for honesty. I've called my control discernment and my defensiveness conviction. And still, you stay. You don't rip the roots out in anger. You dig with care, one layer at a time, because you know that the soil of the soul is fragile. You are not just after behavior, you are after motive. You are not just after clean hands, you are after a pure heart. So come and dig deeper, Lord. Turn over the earth where I have buried selfish ambition beneath noble language. Uncover the places where I have used kindness to protect comfort, generosity to secure attention, or prayer to silence guilt. Show me what I am really chasing when I claim to chase you. Show me what I am defending when I say I am standing for truth. You do not come to shame me, but to sanctify me, to make my inner life match the words I speak, to make the roots as whole as the fruit appears. There is a strange relief in this excavation. The ground breaks, but in the breaking there is air. The breath of your Spirit moves through the soil, and what once was suffocating begins to breathe. I start to see that honesty with you is not defeat, it is deliverance. When I admit my motives are mixed, you do not turn from me, you begin to purify them. You show me that even my longing for purity is itself a sign of your work. You remind me that holiness has never meant perfection, it means belonging entirely to you. Lord, teach me to love your questions more than my image. When you say, "Why did you do this?" let me answer with openness, not defense. When you ask, "Who are you trying to please?" let me pause long enough to listen for the truth. You are not interrogating me, you are inviting me into freedom. Because the truth that I am known and still chosen makes confession a homecoming, not a trial. I do not need to hide the tangle of my heart when I am in the hands of the one who can untangle anything. So here I am, Lord, roots and all. The parts that stretch deep in the dark, the parts that feed on approval, the parts that seek comfort more than calling, you already see them. And you love me enough to want more for me than appearance. You love me enough to expose the roots so you can heal them. I feel the tenderness in your voice when you speak over the soil. Let me cleanse what feeds you, so that what grows from you will be true. That sentence alone feels like a balm. It reminds me that this is not punishment, it is cultivation. You are preparing the ground for lasting fruit. And as you dig, I begin to notice the difference between guilt and grace. Guilt accuses and leaves the soil hard. Grace loosens it until it can receive rain again. Guilt says, "You should have been better." Grace says, "You are being remade." And I can almost feel the shift in the ground beneath my ribs. The roots that once twisted around self-interest begin to stretch toward the light instead. Pride, when touched by your gentleness, starts to unravel into humility. Fear begins to dissolve into trust. The soil that once clung too tightly to the old self now opens, ready to receive your rain. So breathe, Lord. Water this ground with your mercy. Teach me to value purity over performance, transformation over reputation. Let my motives be simple again, to love you and to love others as you have loved me. Let every hidden root draw its strength, not from applause, but from your approval. Let every unseen place of my soul pulse with your presence, until there is no difference between the public and the private me. And when I grow weary of being examined, when I long to cover the soil again, remind me that you are not finished. You are faithful. You do not dig to destroy, you dig to plant. You are preparing me for a harvest of integrity, for the quiet joy of being true. And even if no one else sees it, you will see. You always do. So I yield to your hand, Lord. I yield to the refining, to the patient gardening of my motives. I yield to the grace that goes deeper than behavior, deeper than words, all the way to the root. And I whisper, have your way here, because to be searched by you is to be saved by you. To be purified by you is to be made whole. And as you finish this part of the work, I sense you turning my gaze inward once more, not to the soil now, but to the voice that narrates my every thought. Because even as the roots are cleansed, the mind still whispers its stories, its self-judgments, its hidden scripts. And as we breathe into this stillness, Lord, you prepare us for what's next, to unmask the inner narrator and listen for the voice that is truly yours. Lord, it is quiet now. The soil beneath has been turned, the roots have been touched, and I feel you drawing my awareness toward the inner voice that never stops speaking. The voice that narrates every failure, every fear, every attempt to prove my worth. It is strange how constant it is, how I can be standing in your presence, surrounded by peace, and still hear that whisper in the back of my mind, counting faults, measuring worth, replaying every scene where I came up short. It sounds like me, but it does not sound like you. And tonight, you invite me to listen closely, to unmask that inner narrator, to ask, who is really guiding my thoughts? For so long, Lord, I have believed that the loudest voice must be the truest one, the one that reminds me of what I should have said, should have done, should have been. But the more I listen, the more I sense that voice is not a friend. It is an echo of old disappointments, of childhood shame, of teachers and leaders and moments that taught me love was conditional. It speaks with authority, but not with compassion. It uses my own language to keep me small. And you, patient as ever, whisper into the storm of it. That is not my voice. Your voice, Lord, does not humiliate, it heals. It does not accuse, it awakens. It does not sound like pressure, it sounds like peace. But I confess, I've confused them. I've taken the inner critic for conviction. I've mistaken anxiety for discernment. I've let the noise in my head drown out the tenderness of your spirit. So now, Lord, I ask for the courage to question every voice that speaks without mercy. I ask for the grace to recognize your tone, to tell the difference between the echo of shame and the whisper of truth. You remind me that the voice of shame says, "You are not enough," while yours says, "You are mine." The voice of fear says, "You will fail again," while yours says, "I will be with you even if you fall." The voice of pride says, "You must prove yourself," while yours says, "You are already loved." So, Lord, help me to tune my heart to your frequency. Help me to silence the narrator who tells the story of scarcity and failure, and let me hear instead the narrative of grace, the one where I am not the main character, but the beloved. When I pause long enough to breathe, I can feel your presence as something softer, steadier. It is not a demand, but a dwelling. You don't rush into my thoughts with commands. You wait for me to notice that you've been here the whole time. You don't speak over me. You speak within me, and your words always leave a residue of peace. That's how I'll know, isn't it? That's how I'll tell when it's you, because even when you correct, there is gentleness. Even when you convict, there is hope. Even when you reveal, there is rest. So tonight, Lord, I surrender the microphone of my mind to you. I surrender the need to narrate my worth, to manage my image, to explain myself to myself. You are my storyteller now. You are the one who knows how to tell the truth without tearing me apart. You can hold both my sin and my sanctification in the same sentence and call it beloved. Teach me to think in your language. Teach me to let your voice be the first and final word over every moment. There are days, Lord, when my thoughts run wild, when they accuse others, when they defend myself, when they loop endlessly on what I cannot change. But tonight, I choose to bring those thoughts into the light. I choose to say, Lord, here is the noise, and I watch as you separate what is true from what is torment. You do not silence me. You realign me. You speak order over chaos the way you did in the beginning. Let there be light, and there is. Light in my mind, light in my motives, light in the places where fear once dictated the story. Your spirit, gentle and unhurried, begins to rewrite the script. I hear it in the quiet. You are still being formed. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are mine. Each word softens the lines on my face, slows the rhythm of my heart. The inner narrator begins to lose its grip. Its sentences trail off. Its certainty cracks under the weight of grace. And I start to hear a new tone, the cadence of your truth, steady, kind, unwavering. It does not analyze me, it anchors me. Lord, thank you for teaching me that the goal isn't silence, it's clarity. I don't need to erase every thought. I need to let every thought pass through your presence. You are the filter. You are the stillness that gives shape to sound. You are the echo that corrects the lies until they dissolve. And I realize slowly that I no longer have to fight the inner narrator. I only have to follow the shepherd's voice. So I open my mind like a mountain valley at dawn, letting your words echo back as they were meant to, soft, true, alive. I let go of the noise that sounds like self-sufficiency, the whisper that says I must carry everything alone. I release it into the wind. I listen again, and there it is, the real sound, the one that moves through the soul without accusation. Peace, be still. That's your voice. That's the voice that steadies me when nothing else can. That's the voice that speaks before I have language for my pain. That's the voice that calls me home when I lose my way inside my own thoughts. And as your words settle, as the inner narrator fades into quietness, I begin to notice the serenity that follows. My thoughts no longer need to defend me. My mind no longer needs to prove anything. The chaos turns to clarity. The storm becomes still water. I can finally hear you again like a song behind all other sounds. Lord, let this calm stay. Let this clarity root itself deep within. Let every thought that rises be measured against your mercy before it takes shape. Let your voice be the one I wake to, the one I rest in, the one that defines reality. Because when your voice leads, my soul is steady, my story is safe. And as we breathe in this stillness, Lord, this newfound clarity of thought and tone, I sense you drawing us toward a deeper tenderness, the kind that doesn't demand but heals. Because once the inner noise quiets, we become ready to hear something else entirely, the kindness that leads to repentance. Lord, you are still here. The echo has faded, the air is quiet, and in this stillness something new begins to stir, something that feels like warmth. It isn't the weight of guilt pressing down, it's a gentler presence rising up from within. You are not pointing a finger, you are opening your arms. I used to think repentance was about punishment, about standing in the cold while you decided whether to let me back in. But here, in this soft light, I see it differently. Repentance feels like returning home. It feels like the gentle hand of kindness resting on a weary shoulder, guiding me back toward love. Lord, I confess how easily I've misunderstood you. I thought conviction meant exposure to scorn, but now I see its exposure to grace. I thought confession was a courtroom, but it's a conversation and exchange of burdens for mercy. I thought your kindness was tolerance, but it's actually transformation. You are not shrugging off my sin, you are healing it by holding me close, and I can feel it even now, your nearness. It is tender, not timid. It is strong, not severe. It disarms the defenses I didn't know were still raised. There is something about your kindness that makes honesty possible. When I am sure of your gentleness, I can finally tell the truth. I can say, Lord, I've been angry. I've been jealous. I've been afraid to trust you. And instead of shame, I feel release. Because you do not flinch. You do not withdraw. You look at the wound and begin to wash it with water warm from your own compassion. The sting of repentance is not from your hand, it's from the years I went without being touched by love this pure. You kneel beside me like a healer, not a judge. You are not rushing the process. You are restoring dignity to it. You are reminding me that repentance is not the price I pay to be forgiven. It's the path I walk, because I already am. Every tear I've held back out of fear, you now invite to fall freely. You say, let them fall. They are cleansing you. And so they do, slowly, quietly. Each one an unspoken surrender. Each one proof that your mercy has found its way past my reasoning and into my heart. Lord, I used to resist this softness. I used to think strength meant keeping the tears in, maintaining composure, staying proud of my resilience. But your strength looks nothing like mine. Yours is the strength of patience, the power of compassion. It takes more courage to cry in your presence than to hide behind performance. It takes more faith to be vulnerable than to be impressive. So here I am, unguarded and undone, and yet I've never felt safer. Your kindness undoes me, Lord. It reaches into the most guarded parts of my heart and calls them by name. It says, you don't need to explain yourself. Just let me hold this with you. It says, you don't need to fix this first. Just bring it into the light. And as I do, I feel something shift. The grip of shame loosens. The habit of self-condemnation begins to crumble. The narrative of unworthiness loses its authority. Because your mercy, steady, quiet, stubborn, keeps whispering, you are mine. You are forgiven. You are still being made new. How many times, Lord, have I feared coming back to you with the same failure, the same weakness, the same apology? Yet each time, you meet me not with exhaustion, but with open arms. Each time, you remind me that I am not wearing out your grace. I am walking deeper into it. You never say, again. You say, still forgiven, still loved, still welcome. That's what your kindness does. It silences my suspicion of you. It turns repentance from dread into desire. I don't come crawling, I come home. So I bring every part of me into this warmth, the harsh words, the selfish choices, the quiet compromises I've justified. I bring them not to be punished, but to be purified. Wash them, Lord. Wash them the way you washed the feet of the ones who would betray and deny you. You knew their hearts, and you loved them still. That's the kind of love that melts pride. That's the kind of love that changes everything. The water of your mercy feels real tonight. It runs over my hands, over the memories, over the motives, and it carries away the residue of regret. I don't have to hold it anymore. You are taking it. You are cleansing what I thought was permanently stained. And as you do, I realize that this is what repentance has always been meant to feel, like not humiliation, but healing. Lord, teach me to stay in this posture, not crouched in shame, but bowed in surrender. Let repentance become my rhythm, not my rare emergency. Let me live with a heart quick to turn, not because I fear wrath, but because I miss closeness. Let me remember that every time I turn toward you, you are already facing me. You never make me wait in silence for permission to be loved again. And as the last tears fall, as the weight lifts, something changes in the air. The sorrow gives way to softness, and that softness begins to sound like joy. It's not loud joy, it's quiet, settled, like light after rain. The heart that once clenched in guilt now beats steady in gratitude. Repentance turns into relief. Relief turns into rest. So we stay here, Lord, washed and whole, hearts still warm from your kindness. The fear is gone. The pretenses have fallen. There is only peace where shame once lived. And as the water still drips from healed places, You prepare us for the next fire, the holy one, the refining one. Because now that we've been washed, we are ready to face what it means when conviction feels like fire. Lord, the water has cooled now, and what remains is this gentle ache, the kind that tells me you're not finished yet. I can feel the shift coming, the warmth beneath the surface, the way conviction burns not to harm but to heal. It is not the fire of anger, it is the flame of refinement. And though everything in me wants comfort, you whisper softly, "Stay in the heat a little longer." This is how gold is found. It's strange how fire can be both frightening and beautiful. When you draw near, I feel both the trembling and the trust, because your holiness is not safe, but it is good. It consumes what was never meant to remain. And Lord, tonight I offer myself to that flame, not because I am brave, but because I am tired of carrying what won't burn away on its own. You know the things that linger in the shadows of my heart, the habits I excuse, the grudges I feed, the desires I defend, even while they drain my strength. I've tried to manage them, negotiate with them, keep them at a distance, but they've settled deep into me. So now, Lord, I bring them into your refining fire. I place them at the center of the flame, where your presence sears and sanctifies. And I whisper, don't let me come out the same. At first, it hurts. The truth always does when it meets the tender places. I feel the edges of my pride curling back, the old self resisting, the excuses melting down into silence. It's a holy discomfort, the kind that burns off what cannot coexist with love. You are not punishing me. You are purifying me. The difference changes everything. The heat of conviction reveals what's been hiding, the mixture of selfish motives beneath noble goals, the bitterness disguised as boundaries, the fears dressed as discernment. Each one surfaces like dross in the molten gold. And you, the refiner, do not recoil. You simply skim it away, patiently, lovingly, again and again. You keep watching until you see your reflection in what remains. That's what you're after, isn't it, Lord? Not perfection, but reflection. You want your image clear in me, not distorted by shame or ego or the grime of self-preservation. And the only way to get there is through this holy heat. So I stay. I breathe through the pain, through the parts that want to run. I remember that what feels like loss is actually transformation. The things that burn are the things that once kept me bound. I begin to see that your fire is not random. It's relational. You don't set me ablaze and walk away. You stand inside the flame with me. You are the fourth man in every furnace, the steady figure amid the glow, whispering, "You're not alone here. Keep trusting me. This will not destroy you. It will define you." Lord, teach me to recognize conviction as love. Help me to stop confusing correction with rejection. When you touch the parts that ache, it's not because you're disappointed, it's because you refuse to let me live beneath my calling. You see something holy underneath the residue, and you're determined to reveal it. The more I yield, the lighter I feel. The heat begins to change from searing to sustaining, from consuming to cleansing. My resistance melts into surrender, and something inside begins to shine. It's subtle at first, a quiet strength where shame used to be, a calm where fear once lived. The very thing that terrified me now feels sacred. The flame becomes fellowship. I start to see the wisdom in your ways, Lord. How you use fire not to punish but to purify, not to destroy but to define. The same heat that once felt unbearable now feels holy, like the warmth of your nearness, like a hearth where my soul can rest. Conviction, I realize, is proof that you have not abandoned me. It is your voice, your presence, still calling me deeper. The fire that refines is the same light that guides. So I begin to thank you for the burning. I thank you for not leaving me cold in my complacency. I thank you for every time you turned up the heat just enough to bring impurities to the surface. I thank you for the mercy of discomfort, for not letting me confuse peace with apathy or holiness with habit. And as I stand here, glowing faintly in the aftermath of your love, I understand why gold is so precious. It endures what others cannot. It survives the fire because it was made for it, and perhaps I was too. Perhaps every trial, every correction, every refining moment is proof that I'm still being shaped by holy hands. Lord, let this be my prayer. Burn away what cannot love you. Burn away what cannot last. Leave only what reflects you, the patience, the humility, the light. Let every spark of this process illuminate others who stand in their own fire, thinking they're alone. Show them, through the shine you leave on me, that there's beauty in the refining. And as the last embers cool, as the air fills again with peace, I sense you inviting me to another kind of release, not the burning now, but the laying down, because the heart that's been purified doesn't need its weapons anymore. The battle to justify, to explain, to defend it can finally end. And as we breathe in the quiet after the fire, you prepare us for the next holy act, to lay down the weapons of justification and rest in your peace. Lord, the fire has done its work. The air feels different now, quiet, still, sacred. What once throbbed with resistance has softened into surrender. The smoke is clearing, and I can finally see what you've been forming all along. But even now, there's a new whisper rising from the ashes, an old habit, a familiar voice that says, you still have to explain yourself. It's the instinct to defend, to justify, to prove that my heart was never as wrong as it looked. I feel it even as I kneel here, this reflex to reach for words, to make my case before you. But you are not asking for an argument. You are asking for stillness. And I hear it again, low and firm, threaded through the quiet. Lay it down. So, Lord, I bring my weapons. The clever reasoning, the rehearsed explanations, the inner debates where I imagine winning, your approval. I bring my carefully polished excuses, the shields I've built out of good intentions. I set them down at your feet, one by one, until the ground around me glints with surrendered metal. And the sound it makes, the clinking of control meeting holy ground, is more freeing than I expected. How long, Lord, have I lived in defense mode, always preparing for accusation, always drafting responses, always assuming I need to justify my heart? I have fought invisible battles with imaginary verdicts, exhausting myself under the illusion that you were waiting to be convinced, but you have never asked me to defend myself to you. You already know the whole story, the motives, the misunderstandings, the mistakes, and you love me still. You are not the prosecutor in my story. You are the advocate. You remind me gently that justification was never mine to achieve. It was yours to give. Through the cross, you already declared the verdict. Forgiven, free, accepted. The fight is over. The weapons I've carried have only been heavy illusions, proof that I didn't yet trust your grace to speak for me. So, Lord, help me to believe what my mind already knows, that your righteousness covers me, that your mercy argues better than my words ever could, that I don't have to explain myself to be loved. I don't have to win a debate to be understood. I don't have to stand in a courtroom when you've already written not guilty across my soul. It feels strange, this silence after years of defending. It feels vulnerable to let you speak instead. But as I stand here unarmed, I realize this is what peace sounds like. No more inner trials, no more cross-examinations, no more endless apologies that circle without rest. Just quiet and grace, and your steady presence reminding me that it's finished. You don't meet me with accusation, Lord. You meet me with assurance. You place your hand over my chest and say, "I am your defense." And those words melt through every wall I've built. They tell me I can stop performing holiness and simply live loved. They tell me that humility is stronger than self-justification. They tell me that silence in your presence isn't defeat, it's dignity restored. So I let the armor fall completely now. I let my explanations dissolve. I let the need to be right give way to the desire to be real. I let your mercy speak in the spaces where my words used to rush. And I begin to hear something else in the quiet, a softness rising where tension used to live. It's peace, real peace. You are teaching me that surrender is not weakness, it's worship. To stop arguing is to start adoring. To stop defending is to start resting. To stop explaining is to finally trust. Lord, I didn't know how much energy it took to keep fighting for my own innocence until you showed me what it feels like to rest in yours. Now the air feels lighter. The ground that once held my weapons feels like holy soil under my knees. And the silence isn't empty, it's alive with grace. I can feel you smiling through it. I can feel your delight filling the spaces where fear used to be. I can breathe again without armor. Lord, let this become my rhythm. When I am tempted to defend, let me remember your defense. When I am tempted to explain, let me remember that you already understand. When I am tempted to justify, let me remember the cross. Let my first instinct be trust, not argument. Worship, not worry. You have won every battle I was never meant to fight. You have silenced every voice I was never meant to answer. You have taken the weapons from my hands and replaced them with peace. So I'll stay here, unarmed but protected, vulnerable but free, quiet but whole. And as I rest in this surrendered stillness, I feel something shift again. Without the weight of defense, the heart is finally free to feel the gentle touch of your hand. It's no longer the heat of refinement or the strain of surrender, it's tenderness, healing, nearness. And as we breathe in this peace, Lord, you prepare us for what's next. The gentle hand over my heart, the place where your touch becomes comfort, not correction, healing, not exposure. Lord, the ground beneath me feels soft again. No clang of armor, no echo of argument, just the hush of peace settling like dawn mist on the fields of my soul. My hands, once clenched around the weapons of self-defense, are open now. And in that openness, you move closer. I can feel it, your nearness like warmth before a sunrise, quiet but certain, tender but unyielding. You come without warning, without words, just presence. You place your hand over my heart, not to press, not to test, but to steady. The touch is gentle, yet it carries a weight that feels older than fear and deeper than shame. It's as if you are saying, "Be still, I'm here." And in that moment, everything in me that was restless begins to slow. My breath finds a rhythm that matches yours. The pulse that raced with anxiety begins to settle into peace. This touch, it isn't about correction anymore. It's about connection. You are not exposing what's wrong. You are healing what's wounded. Your hand, Lord, carries the memory of every mercy I've ever received, every time you stayed when others left, every time you calmed storms I created. I can feel all of that gathered in this touch. It's not a gesture of judgment, it's a declaration of belonging. I didn't know that peace could have a temperature until now. It feels like warmth spreading outward, gentle but unstoppable, melting the frozen places inside me. The part of me that used to brace for disappointment begins to soften. The part that flinched at the thought of being touched because touch meant exposure now leans into it, because your touch means healing. You don't rush this, Lord. You stay. You let the quiet stretch long enough for my body to believe what my spirit already knows, that I am safe here, that I don't have to perform calmness to receive comfort, that I don't have to hide my trembling for you to be near. You don't pull your hand away when my heart skips with fear. You hold steady until fear runs out of breath, and in that stillness you speak, but not with words. It's something I feel more than hear. This heart is mine. I've carried it through every fire and every fall. I've guarded it even when it didn't know me. That sentence, Lord, it echoes through every chamber inside. It sounds like the promise I forgot I'd been given. There's a healing that happens only through tenderness, isn't there? Not through answers or effort, but through being held. I can sense you mending what logic couldn't reach. You're reteaching my soul what love actually feels like, steady, safe, sure. The wounds that never bled but always ached begin to close. The places that learn to anticipate rejection start to trust warmth again. Lord, thank you for touching the parts I hide even from myself. Thank you for showing me that your nearness is not dependent on my performance. Thank you that when I fall silent, you don't step back, you step closer. You are not afraid of my frailty. You are drawn to it. You are not waiting for strength to return. You are restoring it through your gentleness. And as your hand remains there, over the slow rhythm of my heartbeat, I realize you're teaching me to live differently, to move at the pace of peace instead of panic, to measure my worth by belonging instead of achievement, to find healing not in doing more, but in resting longer beneath your touch. The world outside can shout all it wants, it cannot reach this place. Here, under your hand, the noise is dim, the striving ceases, and the truth becomes simple again. I am yours. That's enough. So I breathe deeply, Lord, and let this moment stretch into the rest of me. Let this peace seep into the muscles that hold tension, the thoughts that rehearse regret, the plans that race ahead of grace. Let your hand become the center of my stillness, the anchor that keeps me from drifting back into self-reliance. There is a holiness in this softness. It's not dramatic or loud, it's quiet restoration. You are stitching wholeness back into the fabric of my being. You are teaching me that sometimes the most divine miracles are the ones that happen in silence, beneath the warmth of a hand that refuses to leave. And as the calm deepens, Lord, I realize this is what healing feels like when it's complete, not a burst of power, but a steady hum of love, constant and gentle. My heart no longer trembles under your touch, it synchronizes with it. The heartbeat becomes prayer, the breath becomes worship, the stillness becomes testimony. And as this peace roots itself deep, I begin to see with new clarity the kind that comes after tears, after fire, after surrender. I can sense you lifting my chin, guiding my gaze outward again. Because healed hearts see differently. They see with compassion, not comparison, with mercy, not measurement. And as we breathe in this quiet strength, Lord, you prepare us for what's next, for new eyes for my own soul, eyes that will see as you see, clear and kind and free. Lord, my eyes feel new tonight, not wider, not sharper, just softer. The hand that rested over my heart has lifted, but its warmth remains, radiating through my chest, through my vision, through the way I see myself now. The world hasn't changed much since the last breath, but something in me has. The veil over my sight has thinned, and I realize how long I've been looking at my own soul through the lens of criticism instead of compassion. You're teaching me to see as you see, to look without accusation, to observe without shame. I used to believe clarity meant judgment, that to see myself honestly was to face disappointment. But tonight, under your gentleness, I learned that true sight doesn't humiliate, it heals. You clear the fog not to expose but to restore. You're not showing me what's wrong, you're showing me what's real. And what's real in your light is beautiful in its becoming. Lord, it feels strange at first to look at my own reflection without flinching, to notice the tiredness under my eyes, the lines carved by years of striving, the quiet longing behind the surface, and to not rush to fix any of it, just to see and to breathe and to know you're here. You are in the gaze that meets me in the mirror. You are in the stillness that says, you are growing, not failing. You are in the kindness that sees past my effort to the essence you placed there, long before I tried to prove anything. There's a window in my soul, Lord, and you've cleaned it after the storm. For so long, my vision was blurred by self-critique and comparison, every smudge of imperfection, a reminder of what I thought I should be. But you've wiped it clean with mercy. Now, when I look through it, I don't see my worth measured against anyone else. I see light. Your light spilling over the ordinary, touching what I once dismissed as insignificant. Even my flaws glow a little under it, because they're places where grace found room to enter. You whisper, see yourself the way I do. And I try, Lord, I really try. To see not just the scars, but the stories they tell, how every one of them is proof that love carried me through something hard. To see not just the mistakes, but the mercy that met them. To see not just weakness, but dependence, the holy kind, the kind that keeps me close to you. You teach me that humility isn't thinking less of myself, it's seeing myself through the lens of love. It's standing in truth without losing tenderness. And slowly it happens. The critic in me grows quiet. The perfectionist loosens her grip. The one who measured worth by performance finally exhales. Because under your gaze, Lord, I am not a problem to solve. I am a person to be cherished. You've known every version of me, the brave, the broken, the bitter, the believing, and you've called all of them beloved. That word alone changes everything. Now I can look outward again. Because healed vision never stays turned inward, it extends. The same compassion you've shown me begins to spill out toward others. I start seeing them the way you see me, through mercy, not through measure. I start recognizing pain instead of labeling weakness. I start feeling tenderness where there used to be judgment. The eyes that once searched for flaws now search for light. It's everywhere, Lord, because you are everywhere. Teach me to live with these new eyes, to notice the good in others before I name the wrong, to see the child behind the critic, the wound behind the anger, the longing behind the distance. Let me be slow to assume, quick to bless, eager to forgive. Let me see as you see, through eternity's patience, through love's clarity, through heaven's calm. And when I forget, and I know I will, remind me of this moment. Remind me of the clean window after rain. Remind me that your kindness is what restores my sight, not my striving. Let every sunrise become a mirror of this mercy, every new day a reminder that you never stop renewing vision. You never stop teaching hearts how to see. Lord, I want to look at myself and others with eyes that bless instead of assess. I want to see the sacred in the ordinary, the grace in the unfinished, the beauty in the process. Let these new eyes hold your reflection, always clear, steady, compassionate. Let them see not just what is, but what can be, when your love keeps shaping us. And as I breathe in this clarity, as the window of my soul stands open to light and breeze, I can sense what you're preparing next. Because true sight always leads to freedom, the kind that comes when there's nothing left to hide, when the soul can live uncovered and unashamed. And as the dawn rises within, you prepare us, Lord, for the next step of this journey, to walk in the freedom of nothing hidden, hearts transparent beneath the full warmth of your sun. Lord, there is no shadow left to cling to. The light that once seemed harsh now feels like home. It touches every corner without asking permission, and I don't flinch anymore. This is what freedom feels like, not distance from you, but nearness without fear. The air itself feels lighter, as if the world finally exhaled the weight it didn't need to carry, nothing hidden. That phrase used to terrify me. It sounded like exposure, like standing in front of a crowd with every failure written across my skin. But now, in your presence, it means something entirely different. It means I am finally known. It means there is no space between who I am and who you see. It means the secrets that used to shame me have turned into stories of grace. Lord, how many years did I live divided, one version of me for the world, another buried deep beneath fear? How long did I polish the outer life while the inner life gasped for air? But you, patient as mercy, waited for this. You waited for the day I would stop performing purity and start living in it. Not perfect, not flawless, but free. And now I see. Holiness was never about hiding sin. It was about walking openly in the light that heals it. You have taught me that freedom doesn't mean having nothing left to confess. It means having nothing left to conceal. When the light floods everything, shame loses its home. I can finally breathe without calculation, love without reservation, and stand without pretending. Your love has burned away the need to curate an image. I don't have to prove that I'm forgiven. I can simply live forgiven. I don't have to show I've changed. I can just keep changing. There is a breeze in the spirit tonight, Lord. I can feel it move through the open field of my heart, where walls once stood. It's the breath of your freedom, soft, steady, endless. It feels like laughter returning after years of silence. It feels like sunlight warming ground that was frozen for too long. You are reminding me that transparency is not fragility, it's strength. Only the unhidden can be truly unbroken. Lord, let this freedom be the air I breathe, not a moment I visit. Let me live with the ease of an honest heart. Let me walk through each day unarmored, unpretending, unconcerned with approval. Let me trust that even when others misunderstand, you understand perfectly. Let me carry the peace that comes from being fully seen and fully loved. I don't have to protect myself from the truth anymore. Truth has become my protector. It's strange how different the world looks when the soul is free. The same places that once felt heavy now feel holy. The same conversations that used to drain me now flow with grace. Even the memories that used to sting feel redeemed somehow because I can look at them without hiding, without regret, without the ache of pretense. Freedom has a sound. Lord, it's the silence after confession, the laughter after release, the sigh after surrender. Thank you for this new way of living, light as air, open as sky. Thank you for showing me that vulnerability is not weakness, but worship. Thank you for teaching me that your light isn't here to judge my humanity. It's here to reveal your divinity within it. You are the God of openness, the God of truth, the God whose holiness invites me to breathe instead of bow in fear. And, Lord, I know freedom will ask for maintenance. It will require daily honesty, continual humility, constant returning to you. When the temptation comes to cover up again, to hide, to edit, to pretend, remind me of this peace. Remind me that life outside the light feels safe only because it's familiar, not because it's free. Pull me back to transparency when pride whispers, "Don't let them see." And let your spirit reply, "There's nothing to hide anymore." Let this freedom overflow into how I treat others. Let me become a safe place for honesty, a living proof that confession and compassion can coexist. Let me carry light, not as a glare, but as a glow, inviting, steady, kind. Because if you, who see all, do not condemn, then who am I to hold judgment? Let me walk through the world unhidden, not to be admired, but to help others breathe freely too. The sunlight stretches farther now, Lord, and I can feel gratitude rising to meet it. It starts as a whisper in my chest, then expands into something larger, something like worship. Because this freedom, this nothing hidden life, isn't just relief, it's relationship, it's trust restored. It's knowing that you stay always, after everything, even after seeing it all. And as that realization settles, you begin to lead me toward the next truth, the next phase of this prayer. Because freedom naturally turns into gratitude, gratitude for the God who never walked away, gratitude for the one who saw everything and chose to remain. And so, Lord, as we breathe in the wide, open air of this new life, you prepare us for what's next. The song of gratitude for the God who stays. Lord, I can feel it rising, the slow swell of gratitude that begins somewhere deeper than words, deeper than thought, deeper even than memory. It rises like breath, like something ancient and eternal remembering itself, because when all is said and done, when the shadows have lifted and the heart stands open, there you are still here, still near, still staying. I think back, Lord, to every place I thought you would leave, every failure that made me certain you were done with me. Every night I mistook your silence for absence, and yet here you are, patient as dawn, unhurried as mercy. You've stayed through the questions, through the delays, through the seasons where my faith flickered like a weak flame and I wondered if you'd finally let it go out. But you never did. You just cupped your hands around it, shielding it from the wind, whispering, "I'm not going anywhere." That alone undoes me, Lord, because you've seen everything, every motive, every misstep, every compromise, and still you remain. You've known the versions of me I prayed no one would ever meet. You've watched me wander in circles, repeating lessons you tried to teach me long ago, and not once have you turned your face away. You have stayed not reluctantly, but lovingly. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Your staying isn't passive, it's protective. You've held back storms that would have swallowed me. You've stood between me and the consequences that should have crushed me. You've walked beside me when I refused to walk with you. You've followed me into places where I thought you wouldn't go, and whispered, "Even here, I'm still God." You've waited through my resistance, through my distraction, through my delays, and when I finally turned back, you didn't scold. You simply smiled and said, "I never left." Lord, tonight I'm overwhelmed by that, by the constancy of a love that doesn't need to be impressed, doesn't take attendance, doesn't keep score. a love that doesn't shift when I fail to meet expectations. You are the God who stays when everyone else has to leave, the God who remains steady when I'm not, the God whose presence is not a reward for performance, but a promise sealed by grace. Gratitude, Lord, is too small a word for what I feel, but it's the one I have. So I give it fully, like an offering. Thank you for the nights you kept watch while I slept in restlessness. Thank you for the mornings you woke me with gentle conviction instead of anger. Thank you for the days I felt lost and unworthy, and you simply whispered, "Still mine." Thank you for every mercy that came disguised as delay, for every closed door that turned out to be your protection, not your punishment. For every reminder that even when I run out of words, you never run out of love. You've stayed not just around me, but within me. Even when I doubted you, you were in the very breath I used to question your goodness. You were in the heartbeat that carried me through despair. You were in the quiet nudge that told me, "Get up, there's more to live." Your presence has been the constant I didn't know how to name, and now that I see it, I never want to forget. Lord, let my gratitude become more than words. Let it become a way of being. Let staying become the way I love others. Teach me to remain when relationships get hard, when forgiveness feels impossible, when compassion asks for more than comfort. Make me faithful as you are faithful, steady as you are steady. When I'm tempted to withdraw, remind me how you stayed. When I'm weary of extending grace, remind me how you extended it first. Let my loyalty be love, not obligation. Let my presence be peace, not performance. You've proven that love doesn't leave when things get difficult. It doesn't run when trust is tested. It doesn't fade with time or tension. Real love, your love stays. It roots itself in the soil of commitment and grows stronger through storms. It stays when the excitement fades, when the answers don't come, when the prayers seem to echo unanswered. It stays because you do. So, Lord, tonight I don't ask for more from you. I just thank you for what already is. Thank you for being the same yesterday, today, and forever. Thank you for standing guard over my soul. Thank you for staying when I didn't even ask you to. Thank you that nothing, neither height nor depth, fear nor failure, can make you change your mind about me. And as I breathe this gratitude, I feel the stillness return, the peace of knowing I'm never alone. The peace of resting in a love that doesn't move with my moods. The peace that says, you don't have to keep trying to earn what's already yours. So I sit here, Lord, in this calm gratitude. I let it fill every part of me until it turns into worship. Not the loud kind, but the kind that hums beneath the breath, that lingers like light on skin. And as it settles, I can sense you gently turning the page once more. The journey isn't ending here. It's continuing into something deeper, something lasting. Because love that stays always leads somewhere. It leads home, it leads forward, it leads everlasting. And as the night stills around us, Lord, you begin to whisper the next prayer, the one that gathers everything we've walked through. The searching, the cleansing, the healing, the freeing, into one final longing. Lead me in the way everlasting. And as we breathe in this peace, you prepare our steps for that last and holy path. Lord, we are here again, and everything feels quiet like the earth before sunrise. The air is still, the heart is soft, and there's no need to rush. You have searched us, tested us, cleansed us, refined us, and now, here at the end of this long, gentle journey, the prayer is simple. Lead me in the way everlasting. It isn't a request for direction alone, Lord. It's a surrender of direction itself. Because I've learned through all of this that I don't just need a map, I need you. I don't just need to know where I'm going, I need to walk with the one who never loses his way. You are the way, the truth, the life, and I'm done trying to lead myself. You know how often I've strayed, Lord, how I've chosen detours marked by comfort and distraction, how I've followed voices that promised ease instead of transformation. And yet, every time, you've waited on the road ahead, patient, still pointing toward life. You never shouted, never shamed. You just kept calling, "This way, beloved, this way home, the way everlasting." It sounds infinite, and I suppose it is. It's not a path with an end point, it's a pilgrimage of becoming. A way of walking in step with eternity, even while my feet still touch the dust of time. It's the road where love is the compass, peace is the pace, and your presence is the destination. And tonight, Lord, I choose it again. Lead me in this way, even when I can't see far ahead. Teach me to trust turns that don't make sense, to rest in pauses that feel like delay, to stay faithful when the horizon is hidden. Let my obedience be the rhythm of my love. Let my following be worship. You know, Lord, I've spent years fearing that I might lose my way, that I might wander too far, fall too hard, fail too many times for grace to find me again. But now I see grace isn't trying to find me. Grace has been walking with me the whole time. I was never outside of your reach. Every detour still led through your mercy. Every wrong turn still fell within the boundaries of your patience. You are the shepherd who never loses a single sheep. So lead me, Lord, not by force, but by love. Lead me like you always have, with whispers instead of shouts, with nudges instead of demands, with light that falls softly instead of lightning that startles. Lead me in the quiet courage of consistency. Lead me in compassion, in humility, in joy that outlasts circumstance. Lead me through forgiveness when I'd rather hold on, through hope when I'd rather retreat, through generosity when I'd rather protect myself. Lead me until every step resembles yours, and when I stumble, and I will, let me fall forward into grace, not backward into guilt. When I grow weary, let me rest without shame. When I'm tempted to doubt the road, remind me that faith is not sight, it's trust in the unseen hand still holding mine. Even here, even now, you are leading. The way everlasting isn't easy, but it's good. It doesn't promise comfort, but it guarantees companionship. It doesn't eliminate mystery, but it anchors meaning. Every mile of this way teaches the same truth in new tones, that life with you is not about escape, it's about endurance that turns into joy. Lord, make my life a quiet yes to you. Let my every breath echo the prayer that never ends. Guide me, keep me, shape me, not just until heaven, but into it. Let my days become steps that trace your heart through the world, steps of mercy, of patience, of kindness that heals instead of wounds. And when the road feels long, when the night grows heavy, let me remember all you've already done. You searched me, saw me, purified me, freed me, healed me, taught me how to see, how to breathe, how to stay. Now all that's left is to follow, to keep walking in what you've already begun, to walk without fear, without hiding, without striving, to live as someone fully known and still chosen. So I take this next step, Lord, and I feel it, the peace that comes when purpose and presence finally align. Every breath feels like belonging now. Every heartbeat sounds like home. Because the way everlasting isn't a destination far away, it's the presence of the eternal walking beside me, within me, before me, behind me. Lead me, Lord. Lead me when I'm strong and when I'm small. Lead me when the path is bright and when the fog won't lift. Lead me until love becomes my instinct, until peace becomes my posture, until holiness feels like breathing. And when this journey on earth is done, lead me still through the veil of time into the fullness of forever, where the light never fades and the search is complete. And there, I'll remember this night, the quiet, the surrender, the long arc of prayer that led from fear to freedom, from hiddenness to home. I'll remember that. You never once left me to wander alone, that you were in the searching, in the refining, in the staying, in the leading. And I'll whisper it one last time, even as eternity begins to sing it louder. Search me, O God. Know my heart. Try me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And as we breathe in that final amen, you remind us, the story doesn't end here. It just continues everlasting.